I want to desaturate all of this picture except for the elephant here. And to start with, I'm going to try and straighten it because it looks a bit angled to me. I'm going to duplicate the background, which is always a good start, the background layer. And I will use the crop tool to do this, which is the fifth one down in the toolbox. I'm not actually going to make it smaller, but I like using this to straighten. When I move the mouse, the cursor outside the picture, I get this two-headed arrow, which means it's ready for me to straighten. And when I press the button, I get the grid. So by eye, I'm just trying to align the picture with the grid. Now, I don't want to lose the top of this building, but using the content-aware crop, which I have in this version of Photoshop 2017, I can get Photoshop to fill in the blank areas. Now, I don't really need it around these other sides, but I'll do it just anyway so you can see. Maybe take this a bit further because I don't think it'll do a brilliant job here because this is quite difficult, but the plain sky should be fairly easy. I click the tick and it's going to take it a little while to do the calculations, and certainly with the sky that's fine. It's a little bit funny here because it's cloned the man. The pavement's gone a bit funny, and this is probably round, but it's made it shaped. Actually, it might not be round, might be another elephant or something. But anyway, it does its best, and then you've got to check what you think of its best. Now I'm going to do a little bit of lens correction, because if you look at this, the perspective is a little bit funny. This building's leaning in, as is this building. So I'm going to go to the filter menu and then do lens correction, filter lens correction. And if you've got a nice and relatively modern camera, then you can probably choose the make here and the model. But this was a little compact camera. Mind you, it has found it. And it's had a go. So let's see if I click things on and off here. I should be able to see what it's done. One thing I can do is on the cancel button, if I hold down Alt, it becomes reset. So if I click reset, it sort of undoes it. So I can compare how it's done. It's made corrections for lens distortion, so barrel distortions and whatnot. Lens profile, you can see that that's not the right profile for this camera, as is that not. So basically, since I don't really know what the correct lens is, I will reset that and I will not use that. But I shall go on to the custom tab here, which will let me make my own corrections. I could change the angle of it here. I'm going to make this a bit bigger, but I wanted to use the content aware option. The way I would do that, if I move my cursor between angle and the little box, well, in fact, I could type in the little box something like 1 degree or something, but it's very hard to know what you want. So, and also if you try and drag around with this angle, that's also really difficult. Because you don't have the control. So I'm just going to do Alt Reset to put that back to how it was. If you move your cursor in between the two, and then drag, so now I'm holding down the mouse button, dragging left and right, then I get much more subtle movements. But since I did my correction earlier, I'm not, actually, just straighten that up a little bit. You do get very fine control here. So perhaps that looks better. Oh, 0.01, hardly much different there. But what I do want to do is transform the vertical perspective. Excuse me. You'll see what I mean when I do it, but watch particularly this block of flats, the convergence that we've got at the top here. So when I drag like that, that's going the wrong way, that's making it worse. I drag the other way, and that's straightening it up again. Now, I don't want to take it too far because it's going to look unnatural. So I just want to make a fairly small adjustment with this. I'm losing the top of my building again. If I do scale here, that actually sort of zooms me out a little bit and shows me the edges. So I'll do that because what I'm losing is the bottom, which I don't care about. So it's just a question of doing enough of this that it looks a bit better, but it doesn't look unnatural. And because the picture was taken from quite a low angle, I think it's okay to have a little bit of convergence there. So I think I'm going to go with that. That is good enough. Say okay to that. And now I need to crop it just to take off these edges. And something like that. Yes, I think that's good enough. I'm going to lose the edge of that building, but I need to do a bit of work down the side here to take this chap out, so I think I'm going to lose the edge of that anyway. Right. Okay, so that is now ready for the next stage.